Hey, what is going on? This is your stimulus check updated information for today. So President Biden looks like he's trying to maybe get this automatic payments going out to everybody. Looks like he wants to get a stimulus check going out on a more consistent basis rather than trying to go through Congress, rather than trying to wait for Nancy Pelosi, rather than waiting for Chuck Schumer in the Senate to try to get these things done. This is the problem that's always happened in the past, is that they get stimulus checks out to everybody, and then they got to wait 6 or 7 months before they get another stimulus check out to everybody. And that's where I think President Biden right now is kind of getting to the point where he wants to use this automatic stabilizer to get more checks, to get checks out to people on a more consistent basis. There is talk of maybe getting a reoccurring payment going out to everybody, because right now everybody's getting a stimulus and then they have to go back and forth getting more bills passed. So if they get their way, the Democrats have been pushing for a new relief payments that would be an automatic stabilizer, delivering speedy support for the economy and households without any need for unity in Congress. So the lawmakers say additional direct aid would keep more Americans out of poverty and provide them with certainty, and the relief is coming whenever the economy shows signs of trouble. So families and workers shouldn't have to worry about whether they'll have enough money to pay for essentials in the months ahead as the country continues to fight an recession. So the Democrats on the powerful House and Ways Committee earlier this year said that the stimulus checks should be going out on a more consistent basis rather than waiting for Congress to get them done. I think that'd be good news, because what's happening right now is you have Nancy Pelosi, who is trying to get this giant $3.5 trillion budget plan moved through the House of Representatives and then push it over to the Senate. That's the way the government is set up now, where they have to vote on these bills. If they can get them voted on, then they become law, because President Biden will then sign them. Now, Nancy Pelosi has a giant during this whole month of September, when everybody comes back to Washington, she's going to have to try to get everybody on board with this giant budget plan. Now, inside this budget plan could possibly be the fourth stimulus check, and they're going to try to extend out a lot of the programs that are happening right now. Child tax credit is going out right now. They're trying to get that extended out to more people and move it out to a couple years out down the road. One of the things that's really going to determine whether the automatic stabilizer is happening or not is going to be the way the economy is working right now, the way the unemployment is working right now. So the unemployment rate is dropping. It's 5.2%. Now, if the unemployment rate starts to rise up, they're talking about getting more stimulus out to everybody. And if the unemployment drops significantly, then what will happen is that payments would start to taper back. They just wouldn't send the payments out. Now, last week there was 310,000 people that filed for unemployment claims, and there was 6.1 million, and held steady above the million mark until the beginning of August of 2020. During that time is when stimulus checks needed to go out. Now, as the unemployment rate drops, then checks maybe not go out. As the unemployment rate rises and more unemployment claims come in, then the stimulus checks would go back in. And that's what I think they're going to try to work on, to get a more consistent, more consistent stimulus check payments going out on a monthly basis. Now, the good news for a lot of these states is that they are actually sending out stimulus checks to people in a lot of these states. Now, the child tax credit is something that's different from the states. The federal American Rescue Plan had the child tax credit in there, where people that do have children are going to benefit from this. And this is going to be where children under the age of 6 are getting a $300 payment, and then kids between the age of 6 and 17 are getting a $250 payment. Now, as those payments come in on a monthly basis, every month on the 15th, that's going to go all the way to December. When December December and then January, they're going to stop the payments and then give you the full amount at the end of end of March of next year. One of the big things is California right now. They're sending out stimulus checks to everybody. These are going out this week. I think it says the bill includes $8.1 billion in direct payments. Anybody that has a bank account in California probably got a check already or got a direct deposit. If you filed your returns and you make less than $75,000, you're getting a $600 payment. If you have family dependents, you got $500 will be dependent, $500 to those dependents. Also in California is ITIN number. Filers are available, so you don't have to have a Social Security number. That is something different from the federal. In California, all you have to have is an ITIN number, and you're going to be eligible for a stimulus. Colorado's going to be sending out $375 for the Centennial States General Fund. Florida definitely going to be sending out a lot more money to educators, police officers, paramedics, EMTs, and firefighters. And, I get a lot of people, they comment below and saying, well, I'm not in part of those, and I get it. And that's just something that I think each state is actually targeting specific people in that area. Georgia, same thing, $1,000 bonus to teachers. I think a lot of the teachers' unions are very strong and powerful in these states, and that's why you see some of these state governors stepping up and sending payments, bonuses to the teachers and educators. I think the educators got these governors in office, and I think they're repaying them with these stimulus checks. Maryland, you have $500 stimulus checks going out to families, and then $300 to those individuals who filed the earned income tax credit. Michigan, it said Michigan teachers who worked in school buildings received up to $3,000 in hazard pay. And in addition, other teachers and support staff across the state received $500. Missouri also sending out $250 paychecks for correctional officers. And then New Mexico is sending out $750 in emergency financial assistance to about 4,600 low-income households in New Mexico. Tennessee is just coming out with $1,000 checks to educators. Vermont, it looks like nurses, janitors, and retail workers could be getting close to $2,000 payment stimulus. If you live in New York, they are going to be giving artists, homeless, some of the other people in New York, I believe up to $5,000. So that's going to be good for those in New York. I think every state's going to start to add to this list as the months start to get closer to the end of December. If some of these states are not sending out stimulus payments to their citizens, then I think they have to send that money back to the federal government. And I know a lot of these state governors, they don't want to send that money back to the federal government, so they're going to try to come up with some kind of stimulus that at least makes the federal government at least happy that those payments went out. And so I'll always keep you updated on a lot of the new states that are coming out with new payments, because every week there's just something different coming out every week. Now, the fourth stimulus check that comes out, this could possibly be in this American Families Plan that's going to be trying to push through the House of Representatives in that budget plan. The issue that the plans are having is that Republicans aren't really in favor of more stimulus. Now, Republicans, they want to spend their money on other things like military and stuff like that, which I get it. It's very important. But the Democrats, they want to spend the money. They don't want to spend the money on military. They want to spend it on people out there that need the stimulus. So if California does the right thing, they're going to show a lot of the other states how to set up stimulus payments and how to move forward with those. In the American Families Plan, they want to extend out the child tax credit through the year 2025. I think also if they're going to sneak these things into this bill and they can get it passed, they'll probably extend out the unemployment through the end of the year. The eviction moratoriums, they might even close that down. Because right now the unemployment benefits have run out. That means nobody's going to get any more, the unemployment payments. The eviction moratorium has actually been, they can't halt that anymore. So people are going to be starting to get evicted that haven't been able to pay rent. I mean, if some people hasn't paid rent in like a year and a half, I think at some point they're going to have to push those people out. It's unfortunate, but you can't just continue to live somewhere for free. And unless the government wants to come in and subsidize those and, give people payments. There are some programs out there that the federal government has given money to states to help people with mortgages, try to get them caught up, help with bills, things like that. I think it's the state's housing agency. If you go to them, you'll be able to find out more information about picking up that aid. There's close to $42 billion that was sent out to each state, and each state has in their housing agency, their treasury, money that's going to go out to those that were impacted by the, but you have to prove to them that you had a hardship during that time. If you can, then they will send you out a check. That is the state's housing agency, and they'll send you out that payment, hopefully to get you caught up with your bills or caught up with your mortgage. And I hope people take that and use it for what it's worth, and not just, or what it's for, and not just take that money and go spend it somewhere else. But again, if the federal government's handing out all this money, then I'd say take advantage of it. And why not? Because I mean, if they're handing all this money, you might as well go get it and take advantage of the money that's available to that. The American Rescue Plan had a lot of programs in there for getting more stimulus. I think it's going to continue to pay out, and it's going to get more people back on the stimulus program. So if you have any questions, drop those questions in the comments below. This is your daily stimulus check update information for today.
As President Biden made absolutely clear, under this legislation, no family in America making less than $400,000 a year will pay a nickel more in federal taxes. It is absolutely imperative that we end the obscenity of some of the wealthiest people in this country. I'm talking about multi-billionaires who in a given year pay nothing in federal income tax, not a nickel.
You know who's not building back better under this plan? American workers, small businesses, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Rural America is not building back better under this plan. It's a sad day in America when our foes are put ahead of America's. It seems as though it is everybody first except America. And if you don't think that this is real, and you don't think that more government spending is driving inflation, you're wrong. If you don't think paying people to sit on the sidelines and not work is not the effect of what we have seen with recent Dem policies, you're wrong. Time and time again, we are told that they don't need to come to work because they make enough money staying at home. I wish that wasn't the case, but that is the case.
This is either going to be donor protection, which the other side has admitted in 2017 openly. We got to protect our donors. That's one choice. The other choice is protection for all, as it should be under a democratic society. So what we want to do is enforce the tax law. If that's socialistic, count me in. It's not socialistic. We've been called worse things, by the way. I'm proud of this historic package, Mr. Chairman. We will guarantee universal paid family and medical leave like every other industrial society in the world. For the first time, you will not lose your job to care for a new child. If that's socialistic, count me in. It's not socialistic. To recover from a serious health condition, if that's socialistic, count me in. Or aid a seriously ill family member. We throw nomenclature around here, nomenclature words, very easily. Well, most of us, many of the men in this committee and some women are veterans, fought for our country. So you call me anything you wish. I know where I stand.
Our North Star has to be the legislation itself. It has to be big and bold and strong. If Republicans work with us to get good, strong legislation, yes. But I agree with you. I've made these arguments in numerous places. Look at 2008, where we spent a year and a half trying to get something good done, ACA, Obamacare, and we didn't do all the other things that had to be done. We will not repeat that mistake. We will not repeat that mistake. You are right. I think of just what you think all along. And it's a different time. The antidote is constructive, strong action by us. by the government. That's the answer, so that when the appeals to bigotry and nastiness and divisiveness are thrown at the American people, people will say, no, we're making good progress. Let's stick with this. But if we don't make progress, bad, bad, bad. We can have really bad solutions. Really bad solutions. Really bad solutions.